everyone and welcome to the Chrissy B Show, and as usual we have a really interesting and inspirational program for you today. We have our fitness tip with Jane Wrafter. We're also going to have our celebrity role news by Ian Pelham-Turner and also Helena Shard. And also I'll be speaking to two very inspirational ladies. That's Datsa Gaile, about coming to England and launching a very successful magazine. And also Charlene Gayle, no relation by the way, who turned her life around and is really doing very well today. And also we have our self-development clinic later on with Chris Browne. But shall we start with the fitness tip? Let's take a look at this.
Hi, I'm Jane, and on my fitness top tips this week I want to show you how to perform a perfect sit-up. Sit-ups are very common. You'll see everyone doing them in the gym, everyone does them at home, but in my opinion most people do them slightly wrong, okay, and it hurts their neck or their back or something else. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to perfect the art of the sit-up, which targets the top section of your tummy. So you start lying down and you have your knees bent and you place your hands behind your head. And the first mistake a lot of people make is they lift the chin and the head and start to strain the neck. So you need to take a little bit of weight in your hands, lift your chin slightly off your chest and try to relax your neck. Don't let your shoulders come up, keep your shoulders relaxed. And then have a look at your body here, okay? So the most important thing you need to do is close down this gap here. So where my thumb and my finger is here, that's where your power is. So yes, you lift your head off the floor, but the most important bit is that you close down here, that this bit shortens and tightens, and then you release. So I'll show you that again. And can you see how my elbows are just slightly wide? I can just see them. I'm not like this, okay, because that's just going to strain your neck. Open your elbows, relax the shoulders, and press your chest down to your belly. Take a nice breath out and a breath in. And if it still hurts your neck, you can use a small towel or a strap. I've got a little strap here that I just use to keep my mat in, but you can rest your head into it and lift. This can really help. I've got lots of my class members who use a towel when we do sit-ups, and it really helps them to target the tummy and to release the neck. Sit-ups are good and they do strengthen your tummy muscles here, as long as you do them with good technique and you do them effectively. Okay, so good luck with your sit-ups, get yourself a six-pack, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, Jane. So now I'd like to introduce you to Ian Pelham-Turner, who's just getting up off the floor after doing the sit-up.
Absolutely.
And also Helena Shard.
Can you tell I'm out of breath?
That was so good, Ian.
He's amazing.
Well, thank God the viewers didn't see it. That's all I can say. You know, it's my weekly workout coming here.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Daily. Absolutely, daily.
So you have some interesting news for us today?
We have lots of interesting things tonight. Okay. We're starting off with The Terminator.
Oh.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has returned to movies now, and he's playing a drug enforcement officer in a new movie called Sabotage. And so this is his return to the big screen. He's such an interesting guy. I actually read his book, his life story, and he has this great working capacity as well. When he first came to America, he worked 22 hours a day. And he used to take 2 hours off for sleep and then start again.
Gosh.
And he had three different jobs when he first came to America. Yeah, quite true. He had 3 different jobs when he came to America. And after his success, he used to go and lecture at different universities like UCLA in Los Angeles. And one day he was talking to these students, and a couple of them looked quite lethargic. And he said, you know, why are you so tired? And they said, well, it's because we've been working for 8 hours. And he said, well, what have you been doing for the rest of the 16?
Wow,
so he obviously doesn't need sleep.
He obviously doesn't need sleep, but he, you know, he still had that work ethic, you know, of developing all sorts of things.
Shouldn't complain, should we, if we get a good 8 hours sleep or something?
We shouldn't.
So no more politics.
No more politics for the time being. But a very interesting character, because I think he would have loved to have been president, but he's not allowed to become. Because he's only a naturalised American citizen and not born in America, which,
That could have been quite interesting though if it was...
It could have been, couldn't it? Yeah.
I think he's supposed to be releasing 4 films, I think, within the next 4 years.
Oh,
So
back to what he knows best.
yeah, I'll be back, of course.
Yeah.
And then there's a sad one tonight.
Yeah, they're very, very sad. Peaches Geldof, unfortunately, is no longer with us. She died today. So
didn't know
thoughts.
I haven't put the TV on today, so that's really bad, isn't it?
So our thoughts are with her
gosh.
family and her friends, and
It's terrible.
unfortunately 2 little boys and her husband. Found
that's
in her
really
home in
sad.
Kent this afternoon. But we don't know what's happened, so we'll know soon. But that's so sad. But really to celebrate her life, because she was very successful.
Yeah.
Only at 25, she I think from the age of 15 was in showbiz world. And she used to write in a column for Elle and The Telegraph. And I think she had her own show. She was a presenter. Just
Gosh,
25.
it's so sad.
Really sad.
Gosh.
So, condolences to everyone. So that's...
And to her family as well tonight, because it must, because his wife, Paulie Yates, her mother, died so young as
Yeah,
well.
she did.
It seems to be one tragedy after another for that family.
She lost her mum, I think, 11 years
it's
ago.
awful.
Yeah.
So sad. There you are. But moving on.
Sorry to put it down.
Moving on.
To something gorgeous. Something gorgeous. David Beckham, with his amazing body, still, even though he's given up football last year, he seems to still have that trim six-pack, etc. Keeping really in shape. Yeah. He's released a new swimwear line with Hennes and Moritz, and there's 3. It's beautiful, actually. There's a short style and khaki swim shorts are my favourite. That's what it was. I couldn't quite remember at the time. But he had a great photo shoot with Glenn Luckford. And he's just, despite retiring, as I said, he's incredibly fit.
He's pretty young though, isn't he? Like,
he is, but normally within a year or something, they tend to put on a lot of weight. But I think for him and Victoria
a lot of
fastidious
going on though.
He has.
A lot of sponsorship deals and everything.
Huge.
So.
He's just been pipped as well, because he was like he earned the most money, I think, and now it's who is it? He's the footballer for Real Madrid.
Oh yes.
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, 120 million, I think, was worth.
Sorry, Beckham.
But we both worked with his double.
Yeah.
And he's got a body double, and the reality is, what people don't recognise is that 90% of the commercials that you see of Beckham, 90% of the filming is actually his double.
Really?
Because they only have David Beckham on set for a little bit of the time, because he's so expensive.
I didn't know that.
So worked recently on the Adidas commercials. There's been 2 recently, so that's been fun. Yeah.
And obviously at the moment, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are off to Australia, New Zealand, and the first pictures of baby George being blown, hair swept down the tarmac.
Absolutely beautiful pictures.
Did you approve of these ones?
Oh, really? Yeah. It didn't, but it's his second public outing only in all that time, and they were beautiful.
Oh.
And do you know what is it? A hongi, I think it's known as. Do you know what hongi is?
No, what's a hongi?
It's a Maori greeting.
Oh.
And today the Duke and Duchess were pictured, because they got into Wellington, New Zealand this morning. And it's with dignitaries, etc. It's the greeting, which is the nose and the forehead. Yeah. So they're really fun pictures. And they had the Maori dance as they arrived and everything. So all very exciting. He didn't. He loved it.
And then tonight we've got phobias, haven't we?
We have. We've got a few phobias. Phobias that people don't really know that the stars have.
Oh.
So starting with Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Now,
ironically,
do you know we were talking the other day about circuses?
Yes.
Oh, is this a sore point? Is this a sore point?
We had this meeting, and I do these challenges like every week. So Ian suggested that I dress up as a clown, and I just outright refused. I said, I'm scared of clowns. I don't want to dress up as a clown.
You're scared of clowns too.
Well, I don't like them. It's not that I'm scared of them, but I just used to have lots of nightmares.
It's like an irrational phobia.
You share the phobia with Johnny Depp.
You do.
Johnny Depp has the same phobia.
Oh, you see, so I'm not the only one.
You're not.
It's amazing though, because you think some of
his
his roles that he plays, they're quite clown-like, aren't they?
Yeah, he's
the Mad Hatter and everything.
Weird stuff.
Yeah, so
it's a strange that he's.
And Justin Timberlake.
What's he afraid
Justin
of?
Timberlake is
Spiders.
petrified of spiders.
What a wuss.
He's absolutely
Spiders.
petrified of spiders, and he actually calls down, because he stays in so many hotels, as you can imagine. If there's a tiny spider, he'll call down reception and get everyone to come up and get the spider
What a drama
out.
queen.
He is. You wouldn't expect
Absolutely.
it, would you?
We're not frightened of being sued.
No. Yeah, please don't get us into trouble. We've got about a minute left, so can we cover a few more quickly?
Okay.
We're going to carry on with phobia.
Yeah, I'd
maybe?
like to hear more phobias.
Go more phobias.
Oprah Winfrey, another I think quite common one, is scared of balloons.
Balloons.
Again, I think that must be a phobia. It's something that happens in her childhood or something. But it's,
I have to say, I was a bit afraid of pressure cookers.
Really?
I hadn't used one at all because mine. I know it's a bit weird. Where did
that come from?
Confessions.
There's a balloon connection there, so I'm work with her.
You reminded me of something. Because when I was small, my mum was, every time she used the pressure cooker, she was like, be careful, it's really dangerous. So I just did not use one. The first time I used one, confession, was 2 weeks ago. I thought, this is very irrational. I'm going to use a pressure cooker. If it explodes, it explodes, but I'm going to use it. And I did. And now I've been using it quite a few times.
Congratulations.
Well, do you know, my mother used to have a pressure cooker, and there used to be...
Don't tell me your horror stories,
No. And it used to have a whistle on the top.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, do they have them now? So it actually whistled when it was ready to be served.
Anyway, I've just got to share that useless bit of information. Can we do time for one more?
Got one more.
Phobia?
A phobia. Let's move on to Lupita Nyong'o, who was an Oscar winner.
Okay.
Do you know her? Very beautiful face. She's won an Oscar, and she's really only known from this year, I think, more or less. But now she's the face of Longcom.
Ooh.
So for her, it's incredibly exciting. She's Kenyan born, beautiful face. 31. So
well, congratulations to her. Very good. Okay, we've run out of time. I'm so sorry. I know you've got loads more to share with us.
Loads more.
Next time.
Just need a longer section. Maybe you come back a bit later if we see we've got time.
That'd be good.
Thank you so much for the news.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you're going to stay around, because after the break, we're going to be joined by a very inspirational and focused lady who left her home country and launched her very own magazine right here in the UK. So do join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show. Now, to introduce our next guest, let's take a look at this video.
The makeup and the hair. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Really good.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have a magazine that you can relate to, a real woman, a real life story, instead of just reading all these glamour and glossy magazines that's always about perfect, beautiful women who look very slim, and it's just not real. It's not the real world, it's not the real life, and it's good to read a magazine that is a real story.
Because not everybody likes to always do makeup and dress like they're going to a party all the time. So it's really nice, and I love how they just write about real women and tell everybody about their story.
It's definitely a really good idea for a magazine, because if you get the other magazines, you look at people and they're not real women, and that's what you're trying to compare yourself to.
There was a stereotype, and it's good to celebrate normal women who, do normal jobs, I suppose, or jobs that help other people. And women can do, what men can do too.
Yeah, the pressure is on the average woman is what you make it. You can keep a tidy home, or you can keep a messy home. You can be successful in business, or you can be happy to just you know, achieve little goals. You know, you create the pressures if you know, by striving to achieve more.
And this magazine is actually showing you that anyone can achieve what they want, especially women, and they all come from the real world, you know, where there's tough hurdles to jump, but we've all done it and we're still doing it, and we're encouraging women out there to just get out of the house and do things, and that's why I like this magazine.
We have the very lovely Datsa here with us. Hello, Datsa.
Hi.
How are you, darling?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, now you've been through quite a journey, haven't you? Because you're from Latvia.
Yes.
But you came to the UK and you basically started everything from scratch, didn't you?
I did, yes.
But why did you leave Latvia in the first place?
The first time when I came to England, I was offered actually a job to work for one Baltic company as an administrator, so I didn't need much English knowledge, and I just came to work. So when I was at this job in Tunbridge Wells, I just loved the multicultural atmosphere, the society, the people, so I fell in love with England. When I went back and I decided I want to come for a second time.
Okay, but it was quite a big move. What made you actually decide to just leave everything in effect and start here?
No, the first time was more like for experience. I just
Okay.
wanted to gain international experience, but because I love the people around here, and in Latvia we only have Latvians and Russian people, so you can't see any other nationalities. So that was
it's
quite
very diverse
interesting.
here, isn't it?
That was very interesting, the food and culture, how people live here. And
It is interesting
I just
to live
loved
here,
it.
actually.
I just loved it, yeah.
And what was it like when you first sort of moved here? And what kind of difficulties did you face and how did you overcome them?
Because I came twice, I have two different experiences. The first one was really well, because everything was organized, but at that time, when I went back home, little did I know that second time will be very hard for me. Basically, we use, to coming to work in England, we use local agencies back home. So people offer you a job, they say you will go, everything is sorted for you, and you will have a job and place where you're gonna live. So when we arrived in London that night, no one was there.
Oh gosh.
And people almost left us on the street. And
that's awful.
It was
That's
very
scary.
And also our language was very limited English, because when I realized that when you studied back at home in a school, it was completely different from real English language and accents and dialects, how people speak here. So we were at Victoria Station late night at 10, and my friend was first time away from home, so she was crying, and I said, don't cry, we have to sort out, we have to do something about this. So we called back to Latvia to the agent, and she organized, and someone came and put us on a train to Northampton. So we arrived in Northampton and no one was there again, and it was like midnight.
A lovely
almost.
welcome, wasn't it, for you?
It was very, and then we were really scared, because after a while came a man who looked dodgy, and he wasn't one what we expected to meet us here in England, and we were really scared, because we heard before that the girls come and passports have been taken away and everything. But it ended that night okay, because he put us in a house. We met a lovely family from Lithuania. We had a kid, and then we were like, oh, thanks God, we still alive and not on a street. And next morning he said, okay, you're gonna go to work, and it's all sorted, but it didn't work out that way.
So you didn't actually stay in the job that you came to do. When did you actually decide to start, and why did you decide to start the magazine?
Oh,
and it's called, by the way, For Any Woman. Yeah.
That was many, many years later after my all crazy journey and startup till we ran away from them.
Oh,
and,
gosh. I think we're going to need a whole show to cover her story.
We ran away from them, and basically they took us all over the England. It didn't end up in Northampton. They took us to Tunbridge and Brighton and London, saying that we will have jobs and we will work in a hotel, cleaning the rooms, etc. So after that all interesting experience, we just ran away basically back to Northampton, where we met two Latvian women during those 2 weeks. And we just thought we have to do things for ourselves. Who else is going to do it? So all those 4 months I was learning English because I knew I really want to get a good job and have a normal life. And I submitted my CV everywhere to companies, and my first job was as a Russian-speaking cashier in a phone shop. So and then I felt like that's good. And then I brought my oldest son, and after a few months I brought my youngest son to England as well.
So tell us how you started the magazine, and before we go to a break.
The magazine was basically, I was running before 4 years Latvian media company in England, which was founded by myself at the university and also the newspaper. But it was quite small communities to focus on. It's only about 150,000 Latvians living in the UK. So I realized, and also it's quite negative news sometimes, and I wanted to create something positive. So I had this name for a while in my head. I was thinking to, I don't know, do some underwear for ladies or some perfume or cosmetic line. But because I had this experience in the media, I thought it would be the best to create some online magazine because it's accessible, and also it's to create something just nice and positive. And I will launch my website, my Facebook page first. In the first week we have like 350 followers, and I thought, what should I do now? I even haven't got the magazine and the page starts going. So when I put...
So you didn't expect it to grow so fast, did you?
The first year I was thinking first year just to set up the magazine and see how it will go next year. But now we are on month 9, and I have been asked to go out and give interviews how I have done it, and people get excited. Ladies who come for the shoot, they are so excited and happy, and it's really nice.
And where do you see the future of the magazine?
The future? I would love to think that one day I will be able to print it, but I don't want to go that far at the moment. Probably to get higher readership and just to be one of the best magazines, the one who every lady would love to read. Because we give out the positive message, and we show ladies, even if they have been really down, because we all have ups and downs in our lives, and how we get out, how we pass this message to other women, how we inspire others. And
I just wish we had more time to come. Maybe we're going to have you on another day as well to go more into your story, because sort of we've kind of rushed through it, and there was a lot in between before you actually started the online magazine and everything. But you know, you have been through quite a few things and difficulties and struggles to get where you are today. But I think it's just brilliant what you're doing, and I wish you all the best, you know, for the future as well. But you're going to stay with us because we also have another lady coming to join us who's also very inspirational. She's going to be telling us her story after this break.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show. Let's take a look at this video before we introduce Charlene.
Look how things have turned to worse. You got kids killing kids, bare hurts getting put down. Another mum crying to the church. Really, what's it worth?
And we have the lovely Charlene on the sofa with us. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good, thank you.
So good to have you here as well.
Thank you.
Now, you've also been through, because we don't really have much time on the show to go into a lot of detail, but you've been through some difficult times, and now you see yourself as quite successful, don't you?
I do. I'm one of 8 children. I'm actually second oldest of 8. And my mum was a single parent for a very, very long time. And basically, because she was a single parent and she wanted to make sure we had clothes and, you know, food, she worked a lot, like a lot of hours. And what that meant was that she was hardly home, which meant that I had to take on, even though I'm the second oldest, my big sister wasn't around, so I ended up taking on the responsibility of all.
Wow.
Yeah, my brothers and sisters.
That's a huge responsibility.
Yeah, from a very young age. Like I started changing diapers, feeding babies, and burping babies from the age of 6.
Oh my God.
So from the age of 6, I was bringing up, babysitting my younger siblings.
And how did you remember how you felt at the time, like what things were going through your head?
When I was very small, so before high school, it was fine. You know, I did feel that I missed out.
Yeah.
So I had to actually stay home from school some days. So I wasn't able to actually go to school some days because I was looking after my younger siblings, if they, especially my youngest brother, who was a baby still when I was like 6 years old. So I missed out on a lot of school for short periods. But it didn't really bother me until I was older. And I realised that not many other children lived that life. So it became more difficult as I got older.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because some people maybe have sort of been through that kind of situation and they say, oh, you know what, I didn't maybe do the things that I wanted to do. I missed out on stuff, so I'm not going to bother now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother trying with my life, that's it. But you didn't think that way, or maybe if you did initially that you didn't remain that way because you started to pick up and do something for yourself.
I was really fortunate. Like in high school, because I had a lot of self-esteem issues, because when your parent isn't there, even though if they're working hard for you to like pay the bills and put food on the table, if they're not there for you, you do feel neglected and unloved. And I did feel neglected and unloved. And my self-worth was pretty much 0 as well. And I was really fortunate in that a teacher came into my life when I was about 14 and started to build up my self-esteem, started to tell me I was really good, you know, things I didn't get from my parent because, you know, she was busy working. And my self-confidence, self-esteem built up slowly. And then I kind of developed a can-do attitude.
Brilliant.
Whereas I didn't have that before.
Okay.
And that's where it started. That's when I started to work, to study, and to kind of see myself.
You just needed someone to maybe show that they believed in you in a sense, and that you could do it, and a bit of encouragement. Because I'm sure, you know, sometimes obviously you have to look at it from the parents' point of view as well, because, you know, if someone has got children and they're the single parent, they do have to work a lot, and they probably feel guilty, but then they don't realise the other side of it, that, you know, the child needs that one-to-one attention. It's a difficult situation, isn't it? But thank goodness that someone did come into your life.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah. And what did you do with that? What did you do after that then?
It was a science teacher. So I went into science at university. So I made my way to a top 20 university and studied.
Wow, well done.
Yeah. Studied, well, my degree is predominantly genetics, but it's biology. And then I went on to teach science, and kind of my initial aim was to inspire other young people.
Yeah.
So, you know, any kids that had the same or similar background to I did, you know, to inspire them to do well and to kind of also give them self-belief, self-esteem, because a lot of young people today actually don't have that. You'll be quite surprised that even if they have like really wealthy parents, they don't have that self-esteem or self-worth. So that's initially.
And you're coming from that background, you know what impact one person makes. It's a ripple effect, which is wonderful.
Definitely.
And what are you doing now? Because you're involved in something quite special, aren't you?
I do. I actually prefer acting. So I've decided to go into professional acting and show business because...
that was a clip from
it
where
was,
From your play that you're doing?
From a music video I did. That's what started it off, because I wasn't actually enjoying teaching. It served its purpose. Like, I did my time. So I did my time. So although I'd done it for a long time, and it definitely wasn't for me, and I found that out pretty quickly.
Okay.
And I've always had this creative side, and I was really good at drama in school. Like it was actually one of my favourite subjects. So when it was a coincidence actually. A director came into a school I was working in, and he was looking for students for this music video. And as a joke, I said, "Can I be in your music video?" You know, it's a joke. And then he said, "Yeah, sure," and actually wrote me in.
So it's worth asking, you know, sometimes.
So he wrote me in, and that's literally where it started. And after that, I ended up being in a play quickly afterwards and getting other jobs pretty quickly afterwards, and it's definitely something that I thoroughly enjoy, and I definitely have a passion for it.
And what's the play called that?
Oh, I'm in the play now. So that was 2 years ago, that video's from.
Okay.
So I am in the play now, and it's called Diary of a Black British Boy, and it's an answer to Top Boy. So it's kind of like Top Boy portrayed the community this way, we're going to portray it another way.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It must be really exciting for you to.
It is. It's exciting. It's a lot of work. So but I'm glad I'm doing it. It's enjoyable work.
Brilliant.
So.
I'm so glad things have turned out for both of you actually. Now, if there's some ladies watching, or men as well, because obviously this program is for everyone, and they're saying, do you know what? It's just too hard. I've been through so many issues in the past. People have let me down, or like maybe I've had issues with my parents, and I don't feel like I've got it in me to be able to start something of my own or really follow my dreams. What advice would you give to them? That's the first of all. What would you say to them?
If you believe something, first of all, you have to believe yourself. If you believe yourself, you can do it. Because I think that you have to believe what you want to do and how you want to do. Because we are real women.
Yeah.
And if we can do it, I think everybody can do it.
Yeah. They can. It just takes that little bit of, even if you've got a teeny bit of self-belief in you, you can do it, can't you? And even if you haven't, you can develop it actually. Right?
Yes.
Because you didn't have any.
I didn't.
You didn't have any, did you?
Very shy, very quiet, and very low self-esteem. I'm really grateful that the right people came to my life at the right time.
And what advice would you give to someone maybe that is in a situation that you were in before, about feeling about themselves like you did before? What would you say to them?
I would say that, well, that's a hard one, because self-belief comes obviously from within, and it's something that some people will have to work on if they don't have it initially. But having a can-do attitude definitely helps. So I would suggest probably watching shows like this, like really positive shows.
Oh, thank you.
Reading positive material, and I suppose I was always told at school as well, there's no such thing as can't, it doesn't exist, and that's exactly right.
Exactly.
It's I can, and you just have to keep on telling yourself that you can do it, you can do it, until you actually believe it.
And you've both proven that.
Yeah.
You both have, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot more from both of you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is hard to kind of take that first step. Even if it's just a teeny one, just a small one, doing something maybe that you haven't done before, trying something, you're applying for a job maybe that you've never have done. Even if you just start off very small, that's enough to start to build your confidence, and that will start creating self-belief. Because bad things do happen to people, but how come there's some people that manage to sort of fight through it and do something with their lives and others can't? It starts in here in the mind. And like you said, we do need to surround ourselves with positive people. That's what I did when I was going through the problems that I was going through. I made sure, when I started surrounding myself with people that maybe had been through the same problem as me and had overcome it, and other positive people, I started to actually believe that I could be something and do something, whereas before it was like I thought my life was over. So, whatever your situation, you can get through it with the right help, with the right guidance. And if you do want more information about our lovely guest tonight, and also more about the show, or if you want, some help, some guidance, please do visit the website, chrissybshow.tv. And you can also email me personally on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Ladies, it's been wonderful speaking to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So hopefully you're going to stay behind to watch the Self-Development Clinic with Chris Browne after the break?
Yeah.
Okay then. So do join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show, and now with Chris Browne with the Self-Development Clinic. Hello.
Hi Chrissy, how are we doing?
I'm very well.
Yeah, great.
Well, since we've got you here, because we always answer a question from a viewer, so maybe you can give your advice on this one as well. I know you haven't seen the question before, but this one's from Margaret, and she says, "Hi Chrissy, I work in a big department store and I've just been promoted to head of department, but I'm getting so much discouragement that lately I don't like to go into work, even though I love my job. The staff always pick at what I have decided to do, and then when they don't finish what I've asked them to do, it looks bad on me. What would Chrissy do?" Now, first of all, Margaret, congratulations on your promotion. I think whenever there's anyone new in charge of something, in charge of a department, it's always a little bit difficult at the beginning, you know, when people getting to know you and you're obviously getting into your new job role and everything. So there is sometimes a little bit of resistance because maybe you're doing things that the staff, you know, aren't used to. Maybe you're implementing new things and they're not quite used to it. So I would bear that in mind because I think it is always a bit difficult at the beginning. Now, you say the staff always pick at what you do. Now, if you'd said if it was just one person, I would perhaps say maybe, you know, that person's just a bit maybe even jealous or they're not comfortable around you yet. But the fact that you're saying staff is obviously saying that it's more than one person. So if I were in your shoes, I would probably look at myself too. So maybe look at the way maybe I'm managing the department or the way I'm dealing with the people. Is there anything that I could improve? Am I involving, for example, the staff with new decisions that I'm making or new things that I'm implementing? I think it's maybe good to look at things that you could do to maybe improve the working relationship and not just say, oh, it's them, but also look at yourself and see what you can do to make them happier, to see how you can work together. And it's actually interesting because I was in a staff meeting this morning and one person said, from another different department, said something would be nice to be involved in some of the decision making so we know what's going on from before and give our input as well. Yep. So that motivates people. So you could also, you know, try looking at things like that. But I would say, you know, go into work, still enjoy your job and just tweak a few things here and there and see how things go. But that's what I would do if I were in your situation. Do you want to add anything, Chris?
Well, I think on top of that, one, it takes a while for people to get used to change. Yeah. All right, so that's one. They're shocked by the change. She's been promoted. Yeah. One picked out of the lot. They're going to feel a bit uncomfortable until they get used to it at the end of the day. So it's just going to take a little period. And the fact that she's actually been chosen for that job means she can do the role, feel confident in herself, and just carry it through. They'll come with you after.
Yeah, they
will. One way or another.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay, so what do you have for us today, Chris?
Today we're talking about discovering your talent.
Okay.
Yeah, discovering your talent. It's a great one, you know. And it's funny, I came on the tail end as well. I thought, oh, this is great. Because we've all got talents, but it's finding out exactly what it is that will actually take us through. And one of the areas we're in, one way or another, we've got our uniqueness, right? We're all unique in one way or another. You might have a twin. Doesn't matter, you're still unique at the end of the day. So you've got to work out what is your uniqueness, what is good about you that makes a difference, right? Now, in finding that out, we're talking about uniqueness. Now, I've jotted a few down as well. There's something that you just came up with a while ago, and it's a situation, as that lady was just mentioning, sometimes we compare ourselves to others as well. And that kind of makes our self-esteem a bit lower, and we're comparing and hitting certain areas which has nothing to do with us, right? So looking at ourselves and find out our uniqueness, not compared to anybody else. Something I've always said, and I've said it many times before, that you're not in competition with anybody else, you're in competition with yourself to be better than you were the day before, right? So you've got to work on yourself and work out, what is my uniqueness? What is different about me that will actually stand out, right? So we want one of those, right? Now, here's one way of finding out. Ask the question. And asking a question means doing something like find the people who are closest to you and have a word with them. In fact, not even having a word, choose about 3 or 4 people, send out an email to them, asking them, what is it that is different about me? What is my talent? Because sometimes we get people telling us what our talent is, and we'll shy away from it. You go, oh, no, that's got nothing to do with me. No, I'm not good at that. And they've told you this is what you're good at. And it probably is. They see it better than you do. And that's one thing is send an email out straight away. Send that email out. You'll be fascinated when it comes back and say, oh, well, actually...
We should all do that, actually.
Yeah, have a go at it.
Find out some things that we didn't know.
Yeah, 5 people. 5 people you trust,
people, okay.
5 or 4 people
and honest
that you trust.
People.
Honest people that will tell you the truth, you know. It's funny, before I left the house, I went to my wife and said, what's my talent? When I was running out the door. And said, oh, speaking. I thought, all right, I'm in the right place then, at the end of the day.
I could identify one straight. You're very good with people.
People.
Like, just as soon as he walks in the room, he introduces himself to everyone. He's really friendly. He gets to know everyone, which I think is a really nice quality as well. So you're very good at communicating.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
There you go.
You see, you've got to learn to accept it as well. That's that one. I like to go, oh no, you know, but that's it. Okay, let's look at this other one as well. Try new things out. Be brave. Try new things out,
Yeah,
things that
definitely.
you wouldn't have done before as well, because you might find that you venture into another area, read something different,
Yeah.
and then you find that you might like it, just because you never actually stepped over the edge to actually have a look on the other side already. So
Yeah.
try new things out, explore.
Life is a lot more exciting when you try new things, because that's where you discover, because some people don't even know what their talents are until they actually, trial and error sometimes, start trying a few things here and then you start to see, wow, I didn't know I'd be good at this, or I didn't know I'd enjoy it this much, and you really discover a lot about
You've got
yourself.
to be adventurous in that sense, isn't it?
It's a nice way to
on
live.
out there. Yeah, it is, it is. And the other thing as well is, it's about modelling as well. You're seeing somebody else doing what you really want to do, right? Have a look, see what that person's reading, see what they're up to, see what happens at the end of the day. I'm not saying be that person, find out if that's something that you've got inside of you, because maybe that's why you're drawn in that area and say, hey, I'd like to do some of that as well. So let's find out another talent in there as well. Now, apart from that, I'll just jot something down as well. Inspiration via goals, right? Now, one of the areas that we tend not to do is find enough time for ourselves. And one way to find that is get with that God-given gift, which is your imagination. You know, take time out, spend time on yourself, just some quality time, just to actually listen to yourself and realize, well, what am I really good at? What do I really want to do? What is inside of me? You know, imagination takes you in far places, places that you think, well, hang on, 1 minute, I could actually do that. Maybe I'll just follow through and go with it at the same time. So each one has been discovering an area inside yourself that is there, latent, that you haven't actually used, and start to imagine.
That is so
and use.
important, Chris, because we have so many distractions nowadays. It's like we don't even have. It's like we don't have time to think. It's the phone, it's the TV, it's the laptop, it's all sorts of things. This pinging here and there and everything. So it's really hard. So what I do every morning, actually, I wake up like an hour earlier than what I would normally do.
Right.
I started doing that from January the 1st, actually.
Right.
Just to spend time alone with myself without any distractions, and just thinking and meditating, things like that. And it just helps me so much throughout the day. I have that time to myself every single day, and it's just amazing.
It sets your day up. I take time out as well to make sure, because you just hit it on the nail at the end of the day. We've got distractions. We're in the age of information technology.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, we've got either a pad, you've got a phone, you've got something going, or somebody telling you something, or whatever another, you know. And it's good to be informed at the end of the day, but you need that time on yourself just to stand still and think.
You deserve it at the end of the day.
Of course, you know. Look back at it. Plus, as well, you can actually play out your day, how you actually want it to go, and it keeps you on track in what you want to see.
Since I've been doing it, I'm a lot. I can't say I get stressed anymore like I did before.
Right.
Things will come, but then I'm calm enough to sort of collect enough to be able to deal with it. Before I used to get a bit stressed when things used to go a bit wrong at work and things.
The outcomes, isn't it?
It's really made a difference.
Yeah. And people relate to you better as well with that, because you're more calm and in control. There's a trust, you know. Oh, we'll go with Chrissy because she's actually going in the direction let's go, and we'll go with that. So there's a trust or a calming in it. I'd really recommend that to everybody in one way or another. Spend time with yourself. Go into your imagination. Start dreaming. Start getting big. Have big dreams, you know, at the same time.
Definitely.
Now, last one I'll say is a big warning.
Ooh.
And here's a big warning. If you don't, what would happen if you didn't? You know that one thing, I always remember that line which is Whoopi Goldberg used in the shoulda, couldn't, woulda, that sort of thing, right? That's what happens if you don't. You're always thinking, well, I could have, I should have, and all these other areas which I should have done, and living with regrets, right? And when we live with regrets, it's pretty painful. It's pretty painful. Even now at this stage, I'm sure some of us do still actually live in regret. You've got to let go of that. Move ahead. Start projecting ahead instead and realise, well, look, I'm not going to be held back by the past. I'm looking into the future. I want to change my life. I'm looking at decisions I have to make. Make the decisions. Go with them. Start venturing out. Try something new. Live life. It's a lot better in that sense.
Definitely.
I'd actually say through all of them, the one area I'd keep going back to is your imagination, right? Until you actually start using that and stretching that in another place, another area, that's when you can actually open up to this.
And then you start doing something towards it.
That's it,
Definitely.
exactly. Yeah.
And like we said before, anyone can, no matter the situation. So, you know, sometimes people might need a little bit of more extra support than others because of certain situations they might have been through, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone's has a different past. They've been through different experiences. It's fine. It's good to ask for help. It's not shameful to ask, you know, for support. Everyone needs it at one point or another. But you know, you can do it. Maybe you had a dream there for ages, and you think, you know, I'm not going to bother. It's not me. But go for it. You can do it. And we're here to help you too, aren't we, Chris?
And that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's what we're here for too.
It's a life of living, helping people, isn't it? It's great.
It's great.
So, yeah, brilliant.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris.
Pleasure.
Imagination. Okay, so that's it for today, folks. I do hope you've enjoyed the program. And again, if you want more information about the show of any of our guests tonight, you can visit the website, chriscybshow.tv, and you can also email me on chris@chriscybshow.tv. See you next time. Bye-bye for now. I have really bad nightmares about clowns when I was younger.
Children don't like clowns.
He always used to appear at the windows and stuff like that. I'm thinking, why is this clown chasing me all the time?
Was it a dream, you said?
Yes, it was a dream.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, there wasn't a clown chasing me. I don't think we're going to have a serious show today.
It's the balloons.
Should I get rid of the balloons? Are they distracting you?
No.
I think we might get the giggles. Okay. No, but I think that's scary. They should arrest him.
I know. No, so he is.
Okay. When they see him, they should arrest him.
Take the balloons away. Okay.
Should we go to the hospital? Okay, guys, I'm really sorry. I don't know what it is. Let's go. All right, okay. Serious. I think we should, have you got another news article? Then we can go to the Love Squad.
Yeah, but I think should we go to the Love School first?
Yes. Let's just take a look at this video, okay? Video, please.
People I knew were going, and it was just amazing, Chris. The things that I learned were just amazing. Open your card now. Open your card, please.
I'll open my card. Do you know what? I went out today and I asked for a green tea. And I don't know what they put in my tea. I had a different tea, but it wasn't what I thought. Okay, oh, this is nice. I can't read out all this. Bianca said, open your birthday card on the show, and then it's just way too much. Oh, thank you guys. It's way too much to read on the show right now.